What is going on? Welcome to DTW Studios and Do the Work podcast.
Woo-hoo!
I'm here with Carla Araujo, and today's subject is the blame game. And I need to set the tone for this bad boy. Do you guys remember this? This like old school. Well, that's 8 years old now. Kanye West, the blame game. You know, I think moving forward, Carla.
What's up?
I think every episode now is going to be inspired by music.
I love it.
You know, the last time we had
J-Lo. J-Lo, that's my girl.
And we'll tell you exactly what we're talking about because the blame game.
The whole purpose of this song.
The blame game is in our relationships. The blame game is on, what else is it on? It's in our business. And we just ran into an episode just recently where I was like setting myself up to blame you. I was setting myself up to blame you.
For what?
And,
what did I do?
Well, you know, like this whole contract, like it's future tense. Like if something were to go south, I knew exactly who to blame.
Oh, okay. You want to talk about this? Okay,
yeah. But before
I thought we were
get
talking
there,
about our past.
No, not what?
Oh, okay.
No, not yet.
All right, go ahead.
But like you got these shoes showcased here, like there's some type of prize. What's going on with this?
Oh, my babies! I had to put them right here to show you what I got going on. So I custom made these shoes, and I put DTW in the back because that's what I represent and do the work. DTW. So I brought them to you because I was so excited. I've been waiting for
they're okay
for like 40 days, and I'm like, man, I can't wait for my shoes. I've been tracking them, show up. I'm like, hey Dallas, check out my shoes. And Dallas, that was pretty cool. Dallas was like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, you liked them.
Yeah. And then I go, hey, look, A.Z, look at my shoes. And you're like, why couldn't they be black?
Well,
so you didn't even like, but that's just how you are. It's like you're always questioning instead of congratulating, like, oh, that looks cool. You should have been
well, I told you they look cool, but my first reaction was they should have been black. I mean, I don't understand this orange pinkish color
There'll be
here.
days, Dallas, there'll be days I get dressed, I'm looking all cute and pretty, and I'm like, yeah, I feel good. I come out, and I'm like, how do I look? And he's like, well, do you want to wear the black dress or the green dress or whatever? I'm like, what the fuck? I'm asking you how the fuck I look. I'm asking you what dress I should wear.
Well, that's just a nice way for me to say.
But he does that shit
all
the time.
Check we're good?
He does that shit all the time.
Anyway, but today's episode is pretty straightforward, right? The blame game. And, you know, we just ran into a recent series of events that could have led us down this horrible path, I guess, in the near future if something were to go south. So let me explain here. With our brokerage here in Arizona, we are opening up our third location. And we're very excited about that.
I tell the story so much better, but go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
No,
go.
I'm looking at you like,
okay. No. I'm done.
I'm fired up.
Like, I'm cool.
Up.
Go ahead. Tell your side of the story. You know what? Go ahead.
All right. Well, we're excited about this third location coming up.
Okay. That sounds like my tone.
I'm not done.
All right. That sounds more like your tone.
We're good. We're good on this third location. We're excited. Okay. It's coming. And
we're not on?
What happened?
Oh, well.
Okay. And so we have an agent working on it and stuff, and A.Z tells me, hey, paperwork.
We hired a commercial agent. Okay,
right.
So we are.
I just don't want to.
We own a brokerage.
I don't want to throw too much information.
It's okay
out
if he hears this because he kind of messed up, but it's
all
okay.
Right, cool.
I still love the dude. We're still using him for other projects.
We own a real estate brokerage, and we're opening up a third location.
Yeah.
So
and for our commercial deals, we use a commercial broker.
Correct.
Like we want to go with the best.
So everything's going good, and then we're supposed to sign documents on a Friday. And we're out of town. We have no access to a printer. So he says I need it within 24 hours. Or I need it that day within a couple of hours to get back to everything, right? So get the lease back. So I'm like, okay, let me see it, let me review it, and let me send it over to our attorney so our attorney can review it. So A.Z's kind of looking at me like, no, this shit needs to get done now. I'm like, no, it does not. I'm not rushing this contract, this lease that I'm going to sign. And I need to make sure everything, I's are dotted, T's are crossed, and the attorney needs to confirm everything. I don't care if the attorney already looked at it, modified it. He needs to look at it again on the final draw. That's how I do business. You wait. I hired you to do a damn job. And you need to be patient because I'm not rushing just because you need to get paid. Not my problem. So his situation, I said, A.Z, what's the rush for the lease? And you said to me, well, the contractors need to get started. I said, I'm not in a rush to get into the building. I don't give a shit. The lease needs to be looked at. Right. So A.Z said, well, he wants it in today. I don't care what he wants. So I said, and
it created a little bit of a friction between us.
Your response was, well, he's worked hard. He's showed us all these properties. He works hard because we hired him to work hard.
Right.
I don't care if he shows us 1,000. I need to make sure as a business we are good.
We cross
and
our
I
T's
will
and dot our I's.
contact my attorney. So
here's my side of it. So this particular broker that we hired told me that he already made sure that all the revisions were made that our attorney requested. All of them were made. So we had an original copy. We had the first draft of the lease. And we sent that over to our attorneys, and we changed a few things. We negotiated other things, and we came to terms. So when it came down to now negotiating the tenant improvements, now we needed to execute the lease. So he sends me what I think is a new lease, but it was the same old lease. And he assured me.
I asked you, but this is the
thing.
He
assured me that all the changes were made. So I was pressuring. I know. Hold on. I'm like agreeing with you.
I know, but I've asked you, I think I asked you more than twice.
Yeah.
Did the lease, and you said, yep, it's good.
Because I asked him twice. So I went based off his word, right? Instead of going with what a good business, right. And I'm not disagreeing with you.
Okay, cool.
Because so obviously.
That's what got me
mad.
No,
that's the whole thing. That's the whole point. Because obviously we're telling the story because I'm agreeing with you.
Well, I'm sorry, I get chills. I get little goosebumps.
All right. What I'm saying is.
You piss me off when it comes to this kind of stuff.
You done piss me off, bro.
You done piss me off because I have a little itch in the back when it comes to this kind of stuff.
Where do you have that itch at?
We'll discuss it later in the podcast.
All right.
Continue
Well,
on. Continue on with your story.
All right. It's your story. Okay. I'm getting down to where you're the hero in this freaking story.
Because I am. And I was go ahead.
All right. So she wants hero status. She wants hero whatever. Okay. So we go. And so I'm pressuring Carla. I'm like, hey, he's already checked it. He's already told me twice. I've asked him twice. He's told me, yes, he's checked it. And she says, I'm not signing anything until our attorney takes a look at it again. So I said, fine, to try to appease her. I send it over to our attorney, and sure enough, none of the changes that we requested were actually made. None.
His response was, I'm reviewing it, and nothing has been changed.
Yeah.
That was straight out one sentence.
And I was about to sign. Well, I already signed it. We were just waiting for her to sign it.
No, you were not signing anything. You were off the lease. I took you off the lease. This is another thing that got me mad. I specifically said the lease had to be under that company or the name or whatever. So a lot of things were just wrong.
Yeah.
A lot of things were wrong. So we had to cross things out. A lot of things were right. So yeah. So we were just waiting for my signature. Mm-hmm. AZ was ready to go. I was like, I ain't signing shit. Yeah. This has not been reviewed. AZ is like, I've signed it. We just need yours. I'm not doing it. So I'm not trying to be a hero. Mm-hmm. What I'm trying to say is what you do well. Mm-hmm. What I do well.
Right.
And one thing is I always make sure my T's are crossed and my I's are dotted. That's just the way I do business. Mm-hmm. I do everything legit. I make sure everything is done right. I don't do things fast-ass. It's not about the money. It's about getting things right. I'm in it for the long run, not for the short run. So another thing is when we got it back, we told him, we're like, okay, we're good to go. Let's close. And then he says, well, I need a cashier's check. I need this. I need that. And I'm like, cool. I'm not feeling pressured by any means. So I'm out of town. I'll be back on Monday. And I remember just going to the office and then you still telling me, where's the cashier's check? Haven't gotten done yet. I had to get a lot of things done out of my way. Mm-hmm. I'll get to the cashier's check. So I did.
I didn't know we were done with that part of the story because I still had a couple points.
I know, but my whole point to you is that in the past I would feel rushed. And when things would fall apart, this would have fallen apart, mm-hmm. you would have blamed me. So now I stand on my own 2 feet.
Yeah, good.
And
good
I stick up for myself because now I'm like, no. But it wasn't like that before.
No, it wasn't.
Because you love to blame the other person. That's what you do.
Well, here's the thing.
But it's not your fault, AZ. It's mine for allowing that.
Yeah, exactly. It's your fault. Remember that shit.
It is. It is mine. I'm 100%. And I say this all the time. It is my fault, not yours. I married you.
Oh.
I married you.
That's like a
That's straight abuse right there. I married you.
You're like, it's not my fault. She tells me all the time, it's not your fault.
It is my fault.
I married you.
But damn, you're good looking. You got looks, bro. You got looks. You got away with that.
I got
you got
other
looks.
things than that.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm all here. I'm all committed right here, wearing the ring still.
Are.
I'm freaking.
That's right.
I'm
you got
whooped.
my name on your ass for a reason.
I'm whooped. I'm all up on. I don't care. I'm all up on you. You're lucky. You got looks, and you take care of yourself. You keep up. You keep up. But get that dad bod and see if I don't dump you.
Hey, I work on this bad boy on a daily basis.
Just letting you know. As soon as I see things falling apart, I'm out.
I love it.
I'm just kidding.
I love it. So, hey, Dallas, check to see if you can go to my page and just change it to the public format. Okay. So, here's the thing. Here's a lesson that I learned from this. Okay, because what would have happened?
I love your lessons.
I it was an eye opener for me. Here I was giving you resistance, and you were like, nope. And I love the fact that you're not gonna take my shit. You're not gonna take anyone's shit. Like, if you believe something, you're gonna execute it your way, no matter what, no matter how long it delays the process, or the urgency on somebody else's part. Like, I absolutely love that. And even though at the moment I was like, what the hell's wrong with you? Like, we got to get this signed and get ready to go. I now appreciate that because, like, this could have put us in a big mess and a big mind. And that's what happened when we opened up our franchise. Not reading the documents, not understanding the full scope of the lease, of the terms, of the franchise terms, of just everything.
I want to step in here because this is the way it went. And it goes along this line with me not standing my ground and being patient with this. So I want to evaluate on this. I remember when the UPS store I had to sell it at one point just because I went to you and I said, hey, things are not going well. We're hitting the 2-3 year mark. I think it was 2.5 year mark. The market's not doing well. Everything's going to crash. I need to sell the store now. So I knew what I was doing. I knew what I needed to do and I needed to move forward on it. You, first of all, said, nope, hold on to the store for another year. Nope, we needed this. After I showed you all the financings, you're like, all right, we need to get rid of the store. But you didn't go based on that I told you, the trust that I was like, hey, I'm telling you, I run the books. All you do is come in here and grab a pen and take off. You don't run the store like I do. You don't manage it, own it. You don't do anything. Mm-hmm. I know what's going on. So I'm telling you right now, the market's crashing. We need to sell the store now. So you were kind of holding back and you're like, nope, we've invested too much. Basically, you're going to work your ass off and I'm like, so it took me a while to convince you through all the arguments and tears but if I am who I am today, that with you or without you, that store would have been sold. Yeah. Period. No, yeah, but you're back then, I want to evaluate on this. So back then, because this goes along the same with the whole leasing and all this. So anyway, you were like, nope, we're holding on to it. So good. So we sold it when you thought the time was right. And this is the pressure. This is where it comes on. So the franchisors were kind of always pressuring you, telling you, Carla needs to come in, Carla needs to sign, Carla this, Carla that. Yes. And I was like, hey, AZ, hold on. Let me contact the attorney so he can review all this. Let him sit aside of me so I'm making sure I'm making every transaction. Right. Because when you go and sell a franchise, it's not that easy. It's not like selling a house or just a simple, it's a commercial deal, right? Because
there's loans involved.
There's a lot of things going on. So I'm like, hey, AZ, hold on. Let me get in touch with the attorney. Let him sit right next to me so you can walk me through this because I know he has my back. So you were like, nope, they need you now. So you were allowing them to rush you in which you were rushing me, which at that time, I was a little afraid of you. And I knew in my mind and my gut, shit was not being done right. Something was going to fall through the cracks, but I couldn't speak up. No, that's not your fault. It's mine 100% because I know how to run a business. I was just afraid to speak up and stand up for myself and with you because you overpowered me. It was your thing. It was this and that. It was their time pressuring you, pressuring me. When now, that's exactly how I went right now with this lease. You were pressured. I don't care. It's not my problem. Go ahead and sign it. But my name's not going to be on it. It's not going to be a legit lease. So I stood my ground in that hotel room. And I love that about myself because I will no longer have anyone step over me just because you're in a rush to get paid. Not my problem. So back to the store. That's exactly how we got screwed. In the end, everybody walked off with their portions.
Everyone walked out with their fees.
Everybody.
So
with
this
loans
is what
paid
happened.
off, 6 months later, bam.
It's lawsuits up
It's
the
a
yin
lawsuit up the yin yang because nothing was done right. And everyone walked away because they had a time frame.
So we
to
hired
close.
the franchisor to resell our store, right? And in my attempt to rush the process and get rid of the store, this store that was bleeding, right, because of just how things were going, there was a buyer that was interested that had the financial backing to what we thought had the financial backing to get it out of the mess that it was in. And in my attempt to like rush this process, like I overlooked a lot of things, which in hindsight, I'm not even sure if they wanted me to look at what they were doing. But it turns out that when we sold the store, we really didn't sell it. Like we were still on the hook for the leases, for the equipment, for all the materials, like everything, all the tenant improvements, everything you can think of. Every aspect of this entire store, which equated to hundreds of thousands of dollars, we were still on the hook for it. Now, we didn't realize this until the new buyer ended up defaulting on his loan. And then the lease, or was it the lease company, went after them only to realize that our name was still on it. Even though they were accepting checks from this other company, we were still on it. And this was like a 15-year, that's another thing. We signed like a long-term deal, like it was 15 years. And guess what they were coming after? Like the remaining years left on this, which was like 12. So we were on the hook. And here's the way I played the role in this whole thing. I started playing the victim. I started blaming everyone, thinking that it was their fault. I blamed the franchisor. I blamed every individual in there. I blamed Carla. I blamed every person that I can set my eyes on and told them it was their fault.
I didn't see it that way. This is the way I saw it. You didn't blame anyone but me.
No, I blamed the franchisor. I was blaming them, and I was blamed the guy Vince and the other guy.
But this is the thing, AZ. Mm-hmm. You don't approach anyone with that attitude. You've approached me with that attitude. So do you blame people? No, not to their faces. That's what played wrong. Because everything, when you went to try to get an explanation from them, it wasn't an argument because you know they were in the right. Everything was done right.
No, they didn't do us right.
But this is the thing. It doesn't matter. It went through.
Yeah.
Everything went through. Mm-hmm. But when you found out, then you came, because you said...
Why didn't you check it? Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So that was the response to you. Why didn't you check it? Why didn't Carla check it? She was in here when everything was being signed. Mm-hmm. Right when you heard those words, you then shut down and said, all right, I got no legs to stand on. Thank you very much. And you're moving on. So then when you went home, you said to me, why didn't you check it? Why didn't you ask questions? And I looked at you and I said, you didn't give me a moment. I completely kept telling you, I need to hire an attorney. And you, so you questioned me all the way through. So your anger went at me 100%. And it was very respectful towards them and very aggressive and rude towards me.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see how that happened. And here's the reality. What that equated to was hundreds of thousands of dollars in lawsuits. Like me not taking ownership and having the right eyes double check the terms of the sale of the franchise. We ended up taking the burden, right? We took all of it, and we had to settle. It took us years to settle every lawsuit. It took us years to get out of debt because of the things that I created. So fast forward now. Okay, so that was the learning lesson. And that's what I think that's what we fail to see. We will put ourselves in the same exact position later on in life. And the whole game and the whole point of this is to learn from past mistakes. Well, I'll tell you what, my initial reaction was not to learn from a past mistake.
I was going to say, because you were the first ones to sign that lease, I was like, hell no, I'm not signing that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, are you with me on this story? Because I'm going right down that line there.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm going like right down there.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You got to pay attention here. It's like it's supposed to be you're like on your computer.
No,
like,
I'm 100%.
No, you're not, because you just butted in, and I'm like,
really?
Okay, I'm
because when
I
was giving on the whole spiel, you walked away as chit-chatting over there with Dallas.
Well, it was kind of boring what you were saying, so
really?
I just decided.
Because I'm laughing at this right now.
All right.
I'm laughing at you
All right,
right now.
Can we start over? Can we start over?
It's hard for me to do that. Don't ask that question.
I just want to let it go.
When those questions are asked, I'm telling you up front, I'm half in and half out on those questions. I'm not all in with those questions, man.
You know, we did
you
that.
Always put yourself on the spot.
We did that this week, right? Where we were getting in a massive argument. We'll get back to the story, but we were in this, like, about to get into this big argument. And I came up to you and I said, hey, listen, I'm a jerk. It was my fault for doing this. Can we start all over? That was before you swung my arm away.
I did. I swung your arm, man. I felt bad. I did. I got heated on that
physical.
one. I did.
Like, I wanted to document this.
Oh,
okay?
Lord.
I got
here
witnesses.
You go again. Always videotaping me when I get aggressive.
I got witnesses here.
And then you make me feel bad when I look back at myself like, am I really I need some help.
Laid her hands on me.
I did not lay my hands on you.
Put her paws on me.
I did not put no paws on you, fool.
Where do we hear that from?
I don't know. Put my paws on you. I did not
put my paws on it. Carla, like, manhandled me.
I did not.
Well, anyway, so we did use that. But here's the thing. So in life, like the same exact situation, I just had another situation at the office come up from lessons that didn't come up for 4 years. And I handled it like a boss this time because I learned the lessons. And here's the thing. This particular lesson, what I was about to get us into, by not doing my due diligence, and at the end of the day, it is our responsibility. It's your responsibility not to take anybody's word for it, because the word means nothing. I mean, it's unfortunate that we live in this day and age. And you may disagree with me, but get into a business dealing with somebody that's trying to make their money. Word means nothing.
Do you want to hear something real quick on speaking of that, the word and the whole document? My dad, and you know this, when he used to, so we used to ask for money. We'd be like, hey, you know, I was in high school. I was in junior high and elementary. I'd be like, can I borrow $10, $20? He would make me sign something that I would pay him back in 30 days. And if I didn't pay him back in 30 days, he would charge me interest. Mm-hmm. So every time I would go and pay him back those $20, they would end up to be like 30. Like his interests were high, but he would always say my interest is lower than the bank. So I remember he used to say that. So I'm like, hey, I owe my dad money. And it was odd to some people. I'm like, no, you don't understand. I owe him with interest too. So I got like 30 days to pay him back.
That's funny.
So, but I learned that even if it comes to those kind of agreements, even with family members, either when people ask you to borrow or do a favor, they're not favors. There's something you're willing to do and not get anything back. Because that's or because
you got to make it a straight business deal.
You do. It's a
and
business
that's why
deal.
we lost relationships over that whole awkwardness of it, where you lend people money. Like we don't lend money. I don't care what situation you're in. Go somewhere else, because unless you want to lose my friendship, that's fine. I'll let you borrow, and at that point, I'm gifting it to you.
Yeah.
And we're gifting it, because for me to go out and collect and make it awkward until you pay me, I'm not gonna fall into that situation. I'm not that type of friend. Don't ask me for money. Like, don't ask me. Go ask the bank. And if you're in trouble with the bank, you can't pay your mortgage. What makes you think that I'm going to say, here you go, borrow some more money, when you're unwilling to pay an institution and I'm expecting you to pay me? God. So I'll just give you the money and our friendship is done. Like, that's my buyout. Did you know
you treated me the same way when we were boyfriend and girlfriend?
Well, what subject are we going to be on?
I want to be
all over the place.
I want to be all over the place because I get crazy with all this stuff.
You're bringing up some old shit now.
But I do. I love how some of the values that you have there.
No, well, we have shared values now. We've a family now for 14 years. So there's kind of like, we're at the same page. But either way, like every lesson, let me get back to this, because, I want to make sure that the point is delivered here. And here's the thing, like, sometimes we jump around and we're like, oh, what were we talking about?
Because there's so much to our lives I want to share and put out there. You know what? I need to run my own podcast.
You know what?
You want to know the real A.Z? Put me on here live. Dallas, me and you early in the morning before A.Z wakes up.
So that's a great announcement.
I'm going to spill it all.
Now, here's the thing. She just said it. Now it's going to become something we're doing. So this week, you will see the podcast on our own and a podcast on my own. Woo! And then we'll come together. Like that, I think that's a great strategy.
Man, I got so much to say.
And that way, I want to interrupt you. Good luck. I want to interrupt you because you could go screaming and hollering. I'm going to throw you in the fire. That's all good.
Throw you in the fire.
I have thick skin, girlfriend.
Mm-hmm. Well, be married to me. You should.
Yeah,
Fuck, you would have broke it already.
Oh, I can
be
handle
married
you.
To me. I know you can.
I can handle you.
I'm just letting you know I know you can. So I'm still here.
That's
like
what
I said,
I'm saying.
Little shit like this don't do nothing.
Nothing for me.
Nothing for me.
Like, if anything, I'll take off my shirt and start dancing for you.
That's
how I roll.
I'm like, you know what? I'll let everything go.
No.
I'll let it all go. Hold on. Dallas in the room. Don't be taking anything off right now.
I'll be dancing the hip dance. You know what hip dance I'm talking about. You like that hip dance. Okay, so the lessons will reappear in our lives later on in the future. And it's up to us to learn from that. And here's the thing, I'm pretty good about learning lessons, obtaining the lessons from the obstacles we overcome or from the issues we've overcome. And everything in our lives was meant to be, right? Because we are going to use it later on. So here we go, one of the most financially devastating times in my life. You would think that would be etched into my brain, don't do anything, don't take anybody's word for it, because I took the franchisor's word for it, and we ended up paying dearly. And I was about to take our commercial broker, and nothing against him. He's a great guy. We're still using him for other projects. Great guy. But I'm not going to take his word for it, okay? We will give a certain level of trust. That's what I was reminded, because I was about to take his word for it. But now this is a lesson that was just reminded to me that we could have put ourselves in a big mess, because the terms were not favorable to us. They were not. And here's the thing, those lessons have to be re-looked at and reapplied. And here's the thing, I was about in it so I can meet his demands and his sense of urgency. I was about to put our family at risk. So guys, I understand this whole process of take somebody's word for it, but when it comes to business, the word means nothing, because at the end of the day, you're going to end up paying the price if you didn't look out for your back. And everything's got to be in writing.
This is a thing, AZ, with married couples in business. I'm going to throw you off a little bit here.
No. Let's transition. This is a good transition
it's not
moment.
Too much
like
of
if we had music.
It's not too much of a transition, but this goes along with a lot of husband and wife business owners.
Okay.
Because the thing is, and I say this all the time to a lot of the women that I coach in business.
Uh-huh.
If you do not have that backbone and stand your ground.
Backbone, I love it. That's got to be your phrase.
You will lose every single time. You will be your husband's secretary. And you are 50-50 owner in the company. So nothing goes through without your saying as well. And you have to own that and be all into the company, not half in, half out. Because half in, half out, your husband will take over because you're obviously not doing enough.
Right.
So you have to be all in to make these decisions. On top of that, you have to have that fucking backbone, because if you don't, your husband will walk all over you, which will be your business partner. So with that said, the company, the UPS store, you did exactly that. I knew where all this was going and where I needed to go. But instead, I didn't have that backbone to stand up, because to tell you, hey, I told you everything that was going to happen exactly happened. But then I got blamed for it. And it's not your fault. It is my fault for not allowing me to have that power that I knew that I had, and that backbone that I knew that I had. So you rather trust the other party than your own business partner.
You're right.
Who has your back.
That's exactly what I did.
So I know, but hold on. I'm going somewhere with this, which most business, married couples in business, partners in business, they do the exact same thing. The husband will always trust the contractor. The husband will always trust this X, Y, and Z, but not your actual business partner, who is your wife, who actually has your back, who actually knows the answers to your fucking questions. But instead, you are so rushed to get everybody happy. And a lot of times they're contractors. A lot of times they're certain banks. They're things that you need. But your wife is telling you, your business partner is telling you, hold on. Because if she was your real business partner, you would have that respect to say, okay, my business partner is needing to look into it. But you refuse to do that because you don't have the trust in your wife. You're not, and again, it could be your wife that's half in, half out. Because your wife doesn't have the backbone to run that company with you. Half in, half out. So that's how your husband's coming in as a business partner. He's coming in half in, half out. You're treating yourself that way with that kind of respect. Your husband would treat you with that kind of respect. So with that said, in the hotel room, when you said, sign this lease, I'm not signing anything. I've been down this road plenty of times. I'm a very smart, intelligent businesswoman, and I know one thing for sure. My attorney taught me well. Don't sign shit unless it's reviewed. Which, by the way, that has not been reviewed. I'm not rushing to anything. Because, again, you were trusting the commercial real estate broker we hired, not your business partner, who is I. Now, that is my responsibility for my backbone to be as strong and powerful as it is, to stand my ground and say I ain't signing shit.
Well, love it. Well, you stood your ground, and I respect you for it.
But, again,
at the moment, I was like, what the hell's wrong with you? We got to get this shit done. But I love the fact that you did stand your ground. And, and this kind of bleeds into all aspects of a marriage as well. Expecting the other party, right? Blaming the other party for our unhappiness, blaming the other person for not doing certain things, when at the end of the day, we just have to take responsibility. And we brought up a number of situations. You were talking about earlier about a particular scenario where the wife was blaming the husband for something he didn't do, when at the end of the day, he doesn't have to do it.
On that, it was not. In what situation? What are we talking about?
Were we talking about the your new client with? Am I missing something here?
Yeah, because it wasn't that.
Okay,
it wasn't that. It was based on man, it's a very touchy subject, but it was.
Okay.
It was
is it too personal?
Yeah, it's too personal.
Okay.
But
well, never mind.
Yeah, it was too personal. But going into that.
Okay.
Okay.
Somewhat into it.
Somewhat into it.
All right.
Yes. We always blame the spouse when we are weak. So.
Ooh.
when we are weak, we're constantly blaming the spouse what went wrong. Because of you, I wasn't able to do this. Because of you, I wasn't able to get this career I wanted. Because of you, I'm 300 pounds. Because of you and the kids, I can't
Because of you, I can't get on a good diet.
I can't on a good diet, or I can't go to school the way I wanted to do, or follow this career path that I wanted to do. Or because of you, I belittled myself, so I decided to stay in this low-paying job. So all these things are because of you. So there's always something that happens in a marriage where it takes two for the marriage to start to crumble. And one's always blaming the other. The marriage fell apart because of you. You had an affair because you decided to have an affair. I was all in. You were half in, half out. You didn't realize something was going on in your marriage a couple of years back or during the time. You didn't know shit was fucked up. So what's crazy about that is the divorce happens. They're separated. They're gone. They're living their own lives. 2-3 years down the road, you see the wife or the husband, and you see them in the best shape ever, the good career, money in the bank, living life. And yours, it's like, oh, you see them, they're all happy. I even see some license plates, divorced and happy. I'm like, well, shit. Having that divorce was like the best thing ever. It empowered you. It gave you a goddamn backbone. You stepped up the plate. You stopped being goddamn lazy and worked yourself in the gym, a little six-pack there. You started walking around with some confidence, being the person you always wanted to be when you were married. That shit I don't understand that. Why weren't you that person when you were married? I'll tell you why. You get comfortable. You're okay.
Love it.
You're okay. Hey, you got a partner. You don't need to make that much money. It's a shared income. Hey, you got married. You don't need to look good all the time. You can look like shit every once in a while here and there. You had his babies. He should respect you. You gave birth. You opened up like goddamn Grand Canyon. He should give you that respect at least. He should love you. You had 20 of his babies. No, he should not. It is not his responsibility for you to feel loved. You should feel already loved. You should feel sexy. You should love yourself more than you love him, so he can love you 10 times more.
Damn.
Because if you show up weak, he will treat you that way. If you show up disrespecting yourself, he will disrespect you in ways he doesn't even know he's doing. But you're allowing that. Hey, you lasted 10, 15 years. It was all good until it's not. Until he decides to see a little something else on the side. And then you decide to lose weight. He decides to have a little something on the side because he's not spending so much, money. He's having a little something on the side, having fun. You got a little boring. You decided to stay at home and not bring in extra funds. So you decided to have this attitude. Lack confidence.
Entitlement.
Like he owes you something. Marriage is a beautiful thing. Marriage is amazing. But you have to go in it loving yourself more than you love your spouse. Because your spouse will love you that much more. You have to have that self-respect. What do you want to do? Don't let the marriage hold you back. The marriage is there to encourage you, to push you. It's a partner. Two beautiful, powerful people creating an amazing empire. Your husband can't do it alone. You can't do it alone. And if you do it alone, that's okay too, but it doesn't make sense to go through all that and that divorce happens, then you decide to really do it alone and do it powerfully and own up to it. And
you should have lived powerfully the
Why
entire
didn't
time.
you do that when you were married?
Yes.
But this is the thing that gets me, is that everyone hates their exes. What you should do is go back and say thank you. Thank you so much for having that affair and disrespecting me. Thank you so much for doing this X, Y, and Z, because it made me appreciate me more. Look at me now, mofo. I'm on top of my game. Thank you. But instead, we carry this hate, this grudge, and then the children get involved. Why? Your ex helped you see a bigger you, a greater you, a phenomenal
because
you.
you couldn't see it for yourself.
Because you couldn't see it for yourself.
Lazy, yeah.
So maybe all this was meant to happen. But do not carry that on to your next marriage.
Damn. We're just going to end with that. Like, that's it. That's powerful. And you're right. You're absolutely right. I mean, there is comfort that goes in there, and then we villainize the other party when in fact that's what ends up waking us up to become better. Like you telling me I'm out of here, I'm leaving you, is what changed my perspective. I'm like, holy shit, like I need to make some massive changes within myself, not for you, but for myself, to live up to my potential, to live powerfully. And when I realized that, I was like, holy shit, I was showing up weak. So marital problems are caused by complacency, at least in our experience. Hey, if you disagree, that's fine. I understand. Like you have your opinions, we have ours. And we were able to bring our marriage back from mediocrity, from the brink of divorce, when we realized we were coming in really weak.
I think the way I saw it is, I didn't want to see myself in this marriage 20 years from now and say, because of you, I didn't speak up. Because of you, I didn't become the person I've always knew I was.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go back and say because of you.
Ooh, damn.
That's what I didn't want.
I love it.
So I had to stand my ground. I had to get that backbone I always knew I had. It was just lost. I had to dig deep for it.
But I love how you tell me, hey, I love you, but I love me more. And like if we can operate from that place, we can showcase love like no other. And if you love yourself more, it's only natural to love others more as well. But if you despise yourself, how are you going to like give that love to somebody else? You just can't. You can't even receive it.
And I'm speaking all this by experience, AZ. There was moments, and I have so much to say on that. There was moments
and
that
you can leave that to your own podcast. That's cool. We're gonna start this up tomorrow. I love it.
Because I was gonna keep going on.
Oh yeah, you're gonna keep going, then I'm gonna keep going. Next
thing
what
I
know,
appreciate?
we're like,
you know what I appreciate though?
What's that?
That you didn't nudge me. You didn't put your hands on me.
Like you put your hands on me?
You cut me off
You
right
put
now.
your hands on
Because
me.
you knew that I was going to go on to say, I have a lot to say. I have a lot of complaints about you.
Yeah, I wanted this to be a good day still. Here's the thing.
As soon as I take this off, you know where this is going.
I know.
I'm gonna be like because of you.
Because of you.
You know where this is going. I need to call my. You know what? I need to make some calls right now.
This is good though. I love it. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Leave us your comments. Make sure to rate and review our podcast at Do the Work and dothework.com. And Carla, one last thing. You're taking on 5 more additional clients.
Yes, I'm excited to start my weeks again.
Yes.
Some of my clients are ending,
yes.
and I'm starting my new 12 weeks again. So I'm
excited. So 12 weeks. You want to be part of this. Like, don't waste time. If you want to improve your business, if you want to improve your relationships or personal power, people come to you. The women that have come to you is because they're seeking that personal power. They run great businesses, but there's still a little fraction of them that's not all in it, like with confidence. And that's what you've been showcasing. Your program is powerful. You're seeing massive results with all the businesses you're helping grow. And not only that, the marriages, like things are changing. The whole mindset. I love hearing all about it. And you are opening up to 5 more for the next 12 weeks. And I'm excited for you, and I'm excited for your clients.
Thank you. I'm excited for
you. Put your heart and soul into this.
I do, man. I'm telling you, because it's all my life experiences and all the things and obstacles that I had to overcome to just be a greater me and to just.
And you've set it down to assignments too. What you have them do, get them out of their comfort zone, some real and raw conversations, and you challenge your perspective.
And I do say this, and I say this, and I'll say it again. I'm not your friend, and it's some of our talks, some of our discussions, some of the assignments are not pretty, and they're definitely digging deep.
They are
to find the answers that you've been looking for.
Well, I love the kind of feedback that you're getting from them. And guys, if you want to work with Carla one-on-one, and this is for you women, and we're going to be opening up a coaching program for you owners as well, men. And but Carla is opening up. Mine will be opening up here in the next couple of weeks. But she has spots right now. 5 spots only. 5 spots only. So if you want to work with Carla one-on-one, if you want to increase your profits, increase personal power, and overall purpose, you need to apply. So go to dothework.com, and there's an application button. Be as raw and as real as possible. All this information is confidential. And Carla, they will get a one-on-one with you, right? They qualify for a one-on-one with you to determine if your coaching program is right for them.
That's right. It's fill out application, and I'll call you as soon as possible.
All right. So go ahead and go to dothework.com and be one of the 5. Your life can be radically different in as simple as 12 weeks. Guys, this is not like a magic pill. Like you're going to be doing shit like you never thought you would. And you're going to be confronting, things that have been burdening you for years. But it's time to put that behind you. Time to cut those ties so you can rise up.
It's very simple. Don't overthink it. Just do it.
Just do it. So go to dothework.com and apply to work with Carla. And we'll let you know more about our other business coaching that I'm going to be doing here in a couple of weeks. We're opening that up in 2 weeks. So, Carla, I'm excited for you. Great job with what you got. And, guys, this is all we got. Do the Work Podcast. Make sure to rate and review and subscribe. We will talk to you
soon.
All right.
Bye.